What's going on, YouTube world? Welcome back to Little Bit Man Gaming, bringing you the review for the 2021 NBA All Star Game. But first, I'm just Johnson, which I'm just Johnson. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. This is actually a review for Coming to America. Um, First things first is you can hit that like, subscribe, share, and the notification button. Greatly appreciated. Those who are not subscribed, please subscribe. It won't take that much, but hit that subscribe button. Do it right now. You can hit that subscribe while you're watching this video, or at the end. Either or, hit that subscribe button. Those who are subscribed, keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate you, love you. Just like and share, share, share. With that being said, because we got to go over 100 subscribers, I almost forgot that part. So that's why I need those who are not subscribed to subscribe. And I need those who are subscribed to share and like. With that being said, let's get into it. So, Coming to America 2, or Coming to America, wherever it was what you wanted to pronounce it, was a movie that it Coming to America didn't really need a sequel, but I'm glad they did one. It didn't really need it, but I'm glad they did one. Um, this was a sequel, though how I wish they would have done it. Had to not wait almost 30 years to do it, but it was a sequel nonetheless. But even saying that, it was a sequel that didn't hurt the first one or didn't make you go, man, why did they do that? Why did they make a sequel? They didn't need to make a sequel. It's not that type of movie. To set the picture about what the movie's about, Hakeem, once again, going back to Zamunda and see that Hakeem is still the prince, but that, alien times for his father is coming, and, sooner or later he will be king of Zamunda. And whether or not he becomes king, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. When you go see, if you go watch the movie, I won't spoil if he becomes king or not. But that's one of the dilemmas of the movie. But in the 30 years since the first movie, Akeem has 3 daughters. But the rule of Zamunda and the traditional is like a tradition rule of Zamunda is that you have to have a male heir to to pass on their title of king to. And Hakeem has failed in that regard because all 3 of his children are daughters. But to their shock, and their shock, both Semi and the king, Jaffe Joffa, has found that Hakeem has an illegitimate son, and they own and in their own way he keep calling him a bastard because they don't understand the language over here. It's funny how throughout the movie, I'm just thinking back after watching it. Throughout the movie, they call him a bastard. They use it, and they think it was a good thing. Just like how in the first one he was like, "What the done fuck means?" They don't really know like the terminology and stuff, so they still like kind of catch up on it. And it's as even with Wesley Snipes' character, it was who I'm about to get into in a minute. Even his part, they're also behind the times on stuff too. But what I'm getting to is that the main problem in this movie, whereas the first one was about Akeem trying to find, going to America to find his bride. Now he has to go to America to find his son that he didn't know he had. And I love it. I love the way how they tied it into the first movie. It pretty much happened during the time where he was looking for his bride when he was in those nightclubs. If you old enough, and people or anybody who's seen the first movie, you will remember the scene in the first one when they was going, when him and Simi was in the nightclubs, and they met Peaches and I'm the best. They met her, they met her and so many other women in the nightclub, and it was shown that during that period, like basically one thing we didn't see was that, according to the second movie, is that when he was in the nightclub, they end up meeting uh, Lisa Leslie. I think that's her name. I might be saying it. I might have got it wrong, but they met her character, and he ended up having. It was against his will. I'll put it that way. Simi had a lot to do with it because Hakeem didn't even know he had a son, and that just say because of the decision that Simi made, he ended up causing Hakeem to get drugged. And that's how his son. That's how he became to be a father to his firstborn son. Um, but we get introduced to his daughters. His eldest. I cannot remember the daughters' names for the life of me. But we get to introduce to all three of his daughters. The eldest daughter, who's been training her whole life to be queen of Zamunda, and even though it's not allowed for a queen to rule Zamunda, she's been training to rule it, and she's been Akeem. We found that Akeem's been trying to fight to get that changed, and that a lot of things that we thought would change and that we thought would change from the first one, given the fact that how Hakeem went to America to find his bride, we found out that in this one, that's a legend amongst the people in Zamunda. We find out from this girl who was a barber, a Zamundan barber. She tells Hakeem's legitimate son the story of how Hakeem came to America to find his bride. And anytime they reference, like the other thing I like about the movie, anytime they reference the first movie, is always shown in flashback. Even when they told Akeem how he got the illegitimate son, it was shown in the flashback. And one of my favorite parts of the first movie, when they was in the bar, and Arsenio Hall is dressed like a woman, he said, "I'm gonna tear you apart, and your little friend too." They it's so that during sometime after that whole encounter, Simi went and found the lady and Lisa Leslie's character, and they were also find another. She would have a friend with her, and then they would go back to the apartment with Akeem and them. And even Hakeem, he was saying that he the way how he remembered the story happening is a funny little bit in itself. But yeah, they end up having to go to the bride, and this what leads to the second half of the dilemma in the movie. Is not just about finding his son and so that he could finally have a male heir to the throne. It's also about how Wesley Snipes' character, he plays a big part into the main plot, and the main, which is what did he? He plays General Easy, and General Easy is the big brother to the Whatever You Like girl from the original, which is a nice touch. I like how the new characters in this second movie fit within the world of the first movie. Like now he was an unseen character. Now we get to see that she, that Whatever You Like, she has a brother, and that's played by Wesley Snipes, General Easy. General Easy is at odds with Akeem and General King Jaffe Joffer. About the fact that because of the fact that Akeem left his sister at the altar, and we found out that in 30 years she's still hopping on one leg going "Arr, arr." I'm like, really? It was so funny to me that she's still been doing that for 30 years, and he called it a curse. Tiana Taylor's in the movie. She plays Wesley Snipes' daughter, Bopoto. There's some great music in the movie, some great callbacks. Even now, I got a song stuck in my head by Prince. Cause they did a great little nod and homage to Prince. They played one of his famous songs, but not the famous songs you would think of. It's now Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, or Diamonds and Pearls. But it is a song that comes from uh, Prince's album Diamonds and Pearls. I think it was one of his debut hits off of Diamonds and Pearls. Um, Get Off. They do Get Off in this movie, and it's like it was a great nod to him. Rest in peace, Prince. But yeah, the movie itself, it was good. It held up. Like I've been seeing the little rumors and the little people who was saying that wasn't getting a good review. But after watching the movie, I would highly recommend people to go watch it because of the fact that is a good movie. It doesn't hurt the first movie, and for it to be like out of nowhere, oh my God, we getting a second Coming to America. Um, it's actually a good movie. It's a great movie, and it kept me laughing throughout the whole movie. I mean, Tracy Morgan did his thing. Everybody who made their appearance in this movie, there are a whole bunch of guest cameos and guest characters and great even just the characters, the original characters for the first one. Like almost every original character from the first one is back in this one, except for like three people. It was three people who did not. If I had to say anything, it was just disappointing to see that three people did not show up into the movie. Um, I really do want to talk about who those three people are, but I will say the one I will talk about is Akeem's mother. She doesn't make an appearance in this movie, but it is alluded to that in this movie that in the time in between the first movie and this movie, she has passed away. Um, but I don't, and the other two characters I won't say is because, I don't want to spoil who's all in this movie, who's not in this movie, what the movie's about. But I will say that was one of my two disappointments because we never really. I wanted to see once they announced that they was gonna be doing a Coming to America 2. I did kind of want to see what happened with these two characters after how it ended in the first one, but these two characters did not make an appearance in this one, in this movie. So we really don't get a resolution to that. Though they do appear via photo. Or at least one of them do appear via photo. But we don't actually see them physically in the movie. Yeah, so it got a lot of, just like the first one, it's a lot of callbacks to the first one, a lot of great songs. It keeps within the Coming to America while integrating newer generation music. It does keep the style of the first movie by having most of the music being 1990s and 80s style music, but we do get a couple of current music in there. Um, yeah, the comedy was excellent. I can't stress it enough. The comedy was good. It is a very good movie. The whole struggle. You get the usual tropes and the whole struggle. Of having connecting with a son that you haven't seen in 30 years. They even make a joke about it. I think the only real negative I have about this movie, and the reason why I say it's a negative, because it really didn't need to be in the movie like this or need to be displayed like this, was the movie is very woke. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with women empowerment if it's done naturally in movies and stuff. That is, it is what it is. But it was like it was only became a problem because you was at every turn, or not at every turn, but at every point when it actually just could be like a natural bring up. It's more like it's a forced bring up, and it's like a forced situation that forces you to say, oh, okay, yes, we understand that women could be just as this, women could do this. Yes, we understand that, and it's like it hurt the movie. That's the only thing that I have a problem with, that it was just too much at the forefront, And you already know what that says about him going to find a male heir when he already got a perfectly good candidate um, to be the heir to Zamunda after King time is done. And I like that one of the daughters in the movie is played by his real life daughter, and her name is Bella Murphy. And Bella Murphy, Eddie Murphy's real life daughter. She plays one of the three daughters. I think she plays the second oldest daughter. Um, but yeah, I also love that. I love the fact that this movie has all. It didn't try to outdo the first one. It just tried to It tried to just almost be on par with it, and it did for the most part. For the most part, it was on par with it. And what I also like about it was that it was a nice change to pace where we only got to see Zamunda for like maybe the first little maybe 10 to 20 minutes of the beginning, and then at the end for the wedding, they flip it for this one. This time, the majority of the action, the majority of the movie takes place in Zamunda, and then but we got unlike the first one where we only see Zamunda twice. We do see America more than just twice, but that's also like I also like that they didn't just flip it like completely flip it and be like, oh, you only see America twice, and it's mostly Zamunda. You see, it's mostly Zamunda, but you get a good handful of the of America too. At that, you get New York and Queens. You get to see New York and Queens a lot, just as almost just not as much as the Zamunda parts, but you do get to see Zamunda. I mean, Queens fairly enough in this movie to be like, okay, good enough. It's a good enough. It was a nice, real well balanced. But like I said, it was a flip. They flipped it from the first one where, like I said, where the first one was mostly in Queens, and then Zamunda for the beginning and the end. This time it's mostly Zamunda and then you got Queens in the middle, and a little bit of the beginning, middle, and it's sprinkled out throughout that you all this time in America. But and I like to call back to the old school New York's jacket that Akeem and them wore in the first one. They do bring that back, and Wesley Snipes, I enjoy his performance. It reminded me that Wesley Snipes can actually be a comedian. He played a nice funny role, and then like you will see like when you watch the movie, it calls back to the old school Dance Revolutions and the Sape weights and all that type of stuff. It was very good. It was very good. I was well entertained, and if I well, let me give you the score first before I get into the final parts of this video. If I would have to score this movie, I would give it, just for the fact that I've been having fun. I've been repeatedly listening to this Prince song, "Get Off," and just the sheer enjoyment I have with it. I give it a 10 out of 10 big ups, because it even with that negative of it being woke, it didn't hurt my enjoyment of this movie at all. It was a little annoyance, but it wasn't enough to even take a point off the movie. It was a straight 10 out of 10. Yes, I would recommend you go watch it. You will have fun. You will laugh. It's a great movie. Everybody holds a part. Even the new characters, they held their own to make this movie still just as enjoyable as the first one. And I even recommend you buy it on DVD or digital, however how you collect your movies. But yeah, as far as anything else, the movie is just great. It's a great movie, and I just enjoyed it, and I know you will too. And like I said, it's a good time. It's a good movie to sit down, eat, pop some popcorn, and have some laughs. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. If you could do me a favor, trying to get my hands right. Yeah, there we go. Hit this button right here. That's gonna allow you to subscribe to the channel, and then hit this button for more of my review videos, or click on any of the videos on the screen, and you will enjoy some more either gameplay. Wherever is up there is going to either be gameplay, or another reviews videos, whatever it is. Click on it, enjoy the content, and have fun. Let me help you have a better, brighter day. That's all I got. To the next one. Peace.